Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Today, we're diving into something that feels like a weather paradox, a glitch in the matrix, if you will. If you've ever lived in places like Buffalo, Syracuse, or really anywhere close to the Great Lakes, you know the drill. 1 minute it's sunny, the next, bam, you hit this invisible wall of white. You can't even see your own car hood, and suddenly there's 3 feet of snow on the ground. It's legendary.
Absolutely. That's the classic lake effect snow phenomenon. It genuinely feels like the lakes have their own personal snow machine, doesn't it? One that specifically targets certain neighborhoods, leaving others completely dry.
Exactly. But here's the mind-bending part. Scientists are now saying this legendary snow machine might actually be breaking down. They're predicting that in just a few decades, it could be a thing of the past. Today, we're really digging deep into why warming lakes might surprisingly mean less snow down the line. Let's unravel this mystery. All right, before we even get to it disappearing, let's quickly break down how this incredible weather event even works, because it's definitely not like your typical big winter storm, right?
Not at all. Think of the Great Lakes like a giant, very active, warm sponge in the middle of winter. You get these super cold, dry air masses sweeping down from Canada. When that freezing air, sometimes way below zero, moves over the relatively warm, unfrozen lake water, it acts like that dry sponge, just soaking up massive amounts of moisture and heat from the lake surface. It's quite an exchange.
So the air basically gets heavy with all that lake water, almost like it's supercharged.
Spot on. Then, as soon as that moisture-laden air hits the much colder landmass, especially the uplands or hills, it gets wrung out, if you will. The air cools rapidly, the moisture condenses into dense clouds, and it just dumps these incredible, massive amounts of snow. We're talking 2 to 3 inches per hour, sometimes more, right there on the shoreline, often in very narrow bands.
It's truly wild to witness. I mean, if you're listening from one of those Snowbelt cities, you know exactly what we're talking about. Drop us a message on social. What's the absolute craziest amount of snow you've ever seen just in one day? I vividly remember seeing a photo of a front door in Buffalo completely buried. You couldn't even get out. Okay, so this is where it gets counterintuitive. If the planet is generally getting warmer and the lakes stay warmer, wouldn't that actually create more snow? Why are scientists saying this phenomenon is going to disappear?
That's the climate tug-of-war we're seeing play out. In the short term, you're actually hitting on a crucial point. Because the lakes aren't freezing over as much as they used to, we've actually lost about 25% of the typical ice cover since the 1970s. The snow machine stays on for longer periods during winter. There's more open water for that cold air to pick up moisture from.
Wait, so warming actually leads to snowier conditions for now? That's wild.
Yes, it's a total paradox. As long as we still get those occasional bitter Arctic air blasts from Canada, the increased open, warm water provides even more fuel for bigger, more intense, almost monster-like snowstorms. We could actually see some record-breaking snow totals through 2050 in some areas, especially around Lake Superior.
So when does this game over screen finally pop up for lake effect snow? When does it switch off completely?
Eventually, the warming air side of that climate tug-of-war wins out. By the time we hit the 2050s or 2080s, the air itself will simply be too warm, too consistently warm to keep the moisture frozen as snow. So instead of a picture-perfect winter wonderland, we'll start getting lake effect rain more often.
Lake effect rain? That sounds like a pretty muddy, miserable mess, honestly.
It really could be. Cities like Rochester, for example, are projected to have 50 or even 60 fewer freezing days per year by the end of the century. The moisture is still very much there, the mechanics are similar, but that crucial freezing trigger, the consistent cold, just won't be present.
I mean, some people are probably thinking, great, no more shoveling snow. But I'm guessing there's a big catch to all this.
Oh, a huge one. First, you have the ecosystems, specifically fish species like whitefish. They rely heavily on that protective ice cover to shield their eggs from rough winter waves. No ice, no nursery, and their populations suffer. Second, there's the shoreline itself. The lake ice acts like a natural shield protecting the coast. Without it, those big winter waves just relentlessly chew up the shore, causing massive erosion and damaging homes and crucial infrastructure like roads.
And we can't forget the massive economic hit. Winter tourism, ice fishing, snowmobiling, these are multi-billion-dollar industries across the region that are already feeling the pinch. The season is getting significantly shorter, on average about 27 days shorter already.
It's truly wild to imagine that the very identity of the Snowbelt could completely transform within our lifetimes. From these monster snowstorms we're experiencing now to what could be slushy rain later. Winter is absolutely shifting gears right before our eyes.
It's all about instability, isn't it? The extremes are getting more extreme, often quite rapidly, before they eventually fade or disappear altogether. Thanks for breaking that down for us so clearly. Folks, if you found this conversation as fascinating as we did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely let us know in the comments. Would you miss the snow, or are you actually ready for a rainy winter 2.0? We'll catch you in the next one. Stay curious.